In this tutorial in Cyberlink PowerDirector, we'd like to give you some tips for using the title elements that are part of the new tutorial creation package. Many users are wondering, is it something worth investing in? You can get it two ways. Number one is simply to buy it as an add-on. The second is to become a 365 subscriber. The question we ask is, well, what's in it and is it worth it for me? Let me give you a little bit of a tip on how we're going to look at this. First of all, in this lesson, we're going to overview the title elements that come as part of the package. We've already created a tutorial that talk about the pip objects that are part of the package. So if I click on my pip objects and I click from all content to tutorial creation, I get to see all the elements that are part of the pip elements that are part of the package. And we have a tutorial that we'll link to that shows you everything you can do with these particular objects. But in this lesson, we're going to look at the other set of items you get, which is basically some title elements. Now, when would you use them? We'll play this segment and show you a simple example. Here we have one of the objects we'll be talking about, an arrow, it pops up, and then another is a circle and the text appears differently. So these are some of the kinds of things you can do in a real-world situation if you're a tutorial creator using these elements. We're going to focus on how to do all that in the next tutorial. This one we're going to overview what are the elements that you get in the package. So to do that, we're going to go right back to the beginning. There are 18 title items in the tutorial creation package. 6 of them are labeled as callouts, 6 as dialogue, and 6 as text boxes. So let's quickly go through these 18 items. The first one is an upside down teardrop. It's blue, and the text that you will see will scroll in from the left to the right. I want to double click on it for a moment just to show you what each of these elements contains. They all contain at least 2 different tracks. One is an image track, and if I turn it to invisible, you'll see it go away. This happens to be the purple teardrop upside down. And the second is a title. And some of the title tracks have introductory effects. This one, if I hover over it, you notice it will say pop-up 1. And that's the effect that's being used in this particular case. We'll cancel out of there without making any changes. The second of the 6 callouts you get in the package is a chevron. It's purplish, it goes to the right, and you have some expanding text in that particular situation. The third one, as we continue our survey of the callouts, is a box with an arrow pointing up, and we notice that the text appears, it slides from the bottom, and it becomes more visible. Now in this particular one, they're using both the keyframe of opacity and the keyframe of position. So we'll show you more in a future tutorial about how these are built and actually how to build your own. The fourth one we have in the tutorial creation pack under callouts is a blue arrow pointing right. You saw an example of that a moment ago. Then we have a fatter arrow with a rounded back end. And then we have a box pointing down. Again, we have an expanding or exploding text. In this case, again, it's simply done through a starting effect. And now we have 6 dialogues that are part of the title elements in the creator pack. They all have in common the idea that they have quotation marks somewhere in the images. First one is an orange circle, and we'll back it up again so you can see how it appears. And the text scrolls from left to right. Second one is a box, and this has exploding text. The third is a gray box with a marker on the top, a marker on the bottom, and again here we have the same technique we saw before. It's a slide up, position movement, and the opacity goes from invisible to 100% opaque. The next one they offer is a stop sign, only it's yellow. We have quotation marks at the top and bottom. The next one is a rounded corner box with a pointer on one of the four corners, and again the text appears line after line. The next one is a small rectangular box, again with the quotes and an expanding text. Those are the 6 in the category of dialogue. Then there are 6 that are simply called text boxes. And so we'll go through each of these. First one is an irregular blue box, and the text scrolls in from left to right. The second is a kind of a three-dimensional tilted back looking box with text expanding in the middle. The fourth is a greenish box, again off-centered, and the text in this case, I believe it's simply, it slides up a little bit, looks like, if we move it slowly. The next one is a green circle. We used this one earlier. Next one is a oval, purple oval. The last one is an irregular shape, again with text appearing in the middle and becoming more and more opaque and expanding a little bit as it moves. So these are the options that you're given, the additions that you get in the Tutorial Creator Pack. And when you put them together, you can use them as you saw in the beginning, and we'll play a larger screen clip of that for a couple of seconds. In the next lesson, we're going to show you more about how to actually apply these in the middle of a tutorial to get the kind of effects that you're looking for.